We can go ahead. We could have gone ahead without you, but we wanted you here.
Okay.
We thought you might be able to help us make some decisions.
Yeah, where you been?
I didn't know we were anything tonight. Honestly. I just got that easement in there.
You should know better than that.
Huh?
You should know better than that.
I know it. I brought one. Oh, okay.
Do we have an
Do we
agenda?
have an agenda?
I never received
Since
one.
Misty's not here, we probably don't have an agenda.
I never got one either. It was in the paper though.
I never got it.
It was in the paper.
Do I need to go buy paper?
It was last week's paper. Wasn't it?
I thought it would
The
post on
Herald?
the,
Had it in last week's paper?
I don't know.
We never received
Somebody
it.
had it. It was
Do we
either
have an
Herald or
agenda?
the Independent.
There was
last
an
week.
agenda pasted
Call meeting order.
to the door of the courthouse.
Oh, you put it.
It was in the paper. I don't have my paper in it. It was last week's paper.
okay, well, I think I know most of what we need to cover from the agenda, so, if you want to stand, well,
Now for a moment of prayer. Amen. And we'll say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Martha, would you mind to take notes for us in the absence of Misty? We should appreciate that.
and, I guess we'll not have a secretary's report, since Misty's not here. As far as roll call, we have 4 members present with Misty Smar absent. And we probably should send around, so Martha can put in her notes, a sign-up sheet for people to sign so we know who all's here. We'll just let Gary sign that and pass it right on. I guess we can go into the treasurer's report. Normally we have the secretary's report,
Yes.
and with her not being here, we just go into the
Okay.
treasurer's report. So Chris, if you would kind of walk us down through that report.
I signed one word in minutes.
The deposits for the month of December were $35,416.44. And the deposits for January through today were $15,895.68. Checks paid for the month of December were $13,226.93. And the checks paid for the month of January were $35,241.64. Outstanding checks right now total $6,578.15. Our P card is that's outstanding is $4,557.09. Total outstanding is $11,135.24. The balance in the checkbook as of today is $27,199.95. The interest in our savings account for the year that we earned for the year was $4.96. Woohoo! And the balance is $3,304.07.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Any questions, corrections, additions to the treasurer's report? If not, that'll stand approved as read. I guess we can go into the director's report. Cole, if you want to bring us up to date on that.
Okay. Director's report for February 2014. I went ahead and listed the call count for December since we didn't really have a board meeting in December and January. So December we did 59 runs. That was down from 108 from 2012. January we did a total of 91. We had 80 the previous year. In February we've done 9 calls to date. For education side of things, we hosted a CPR class back in January at the Ritchie Regional Healthcare Center down Main Street. We've also been working on the CE hours. We have multiple employees going to Research National Registry this year. We're working on getting those together and signed off by Dr. Newman. Upcoming, Jeff Fox had contacted me wanting to set up a tabletop discussion for disaster. So we're going to get with every agency in the county, and we're also going to get with all the agencies in Ritchie County. We're going to get one big tabletop together so we can do a mock disaster and talk through it. We look for that to happen in the spring when the weather breaks. We have a plan to host multiple CPR classes towards the end of February. We're looking at purchasing mannequins in the near future. For maintenance wise, we have 604, 605, 606. They're all in service at the moment. We just got 604 back. It had some front end issues. It was pulling to the left. It had previous work done. Something was at fault underneath the front of the truck that they had to fix and get it aligned. I'm not sure exactly what the issue was, but they had to, something wasn't hooked up right, so they had to readjust all that stuff. So we got it back. 607 is still out of service. It needs a rear differential. They have to special order it. We're just waiting on the quote for it. We switched our mechanics. We were using a mechanic out of Work County. I think, is that the right county? Work County?
Yeah.
We've opted to go with one in Clarksburg, Total Care. It's less mileage to get the trucks there, and they have a lower labor cost, so we opted to start using them instead of traveling all the way to Work County for truck maintenance. Bring you up to date on our state and federal controlled substance license. We finalized all that paperwork. We received our state permit last week, and we received our DEA license today, so we can start ordering narcotics on our own. With our upcoming events, we have some state licensure coming up in March. It's the agency licensure, so the state's going to come up, they'll do a site visit, they'll inspect the trucks, the station, our biohazard, our supplies, they'll go over everything. We'll get a score on it and keep our license open for the next couple of years. And some of our goals. Next month I'm going to present a proposal for a Doddridge County WVU EMS training center. It's going to be setting milestones over a 7-month period. We want to start purchasing equipment to become a state training site. Now what that will allow us to do is we'll be able to host everything in-house for the county. So if someone needs to recert, no matter if they're for any fire department or any agency, they can come here. We can do that in-house. We can submit everything through the state right here without having to get approval for it, and we can do it instantly. With that comes what to purchase mannequins, some training equipment, but I have all that broke down and I'll present that at the next board meeting. And at some point in time, I'd like to sit down with the board of directors in the next coming months. Been looking over our maintenance records and our maintenance cost. Some of our trucks are getting some higher mileage on it, so maybe come up with a plan at some point in time, maybe to look to upgrading our fleet at some point in time.
That truck that was sitting out yonder on the far end.
Okay.
You should have needed the airbags and something else. Did they check it up here?
607 is the one that was deemed unroadworthy. They did check it. The turbo was not bad. There was a piece of hose that connects to the turbo that had a hole in it. So instead of replacing the turbo, it's going to be a couple $100 fix. He said the airbags were okay on the back of the truck, and that it does need a rear differential. So they're going to put that in, and the truck will be ready to go.
So it's really quite different from what the diagnosis was in Work County.
And they figured $3,000 or $4,000 in Work County.
Right, and they figured they said it needed a new turbo, and they said up here it didn't need a new turbo, it needed the
You need to get hose.
hose in behind the turbo.
Okay.
The kit for the hose is like, I think he said around $300 to $400, and then the rear differential is going to cost approximately, he thinks, around $1,500.
Well, you'll get it back on the road for less than $2,000 then.
Hopefully, yes.
Okay.
But it's not the
$3,000 or
$4,000 that we
$4,000.
were expecting. Yes.
And because at that $3,000 or $4,000 range, the $5,000 pretty quick, or a 6. So we're better off up here then. And we don't have all the mileage going down there and back.
Right. And the
Okay.
fuel cost.
Okay. I'll go along with you on that. I have no problems with that.
Any other questions for Cole on his report?
I just wonder about the truck.
good.
That's all. That's all I want to know. That.
Anything else? Any other old business that anybody knows of that you want to discuss tonight?
Executive Station 1845.
Under new business, we do need to look at two things, and they were on the agenda, so we're okay to move on these, even though we don't have a copy of the agenda with us. We put on there reorganization of the board of directors, because we need to get somebody as president and somebody as vice president. Right now, we don't have, I've just been kind of filling in, but I'm not the president. And so we need to get that taken care of. And we also had on there to discuss changing Cole from interim director to permanent, or whatever you might want to call it.
Okay.
Those are two issues. So I guess the first thing would be the board. Mike Bailey's resignation was officially accepted at the county commission recently. And so I guess at this point we need to find a new president.
I think you're doing a good job.
You vote for me?
Yes, I do.
I'll vote for myself.
I think you're doing a good job.
I make a motion that we hold a vote for president of the DCAA board.
Okay.
Okay. Is there a nomination? Nominations?
Yeah, Ed Thompson.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All voted aye. One reluctant. Okay, we need a vice president, so is there a motion for filling that? Because this evening, I took a dog in and had to leave her with the vet, and she's going to be overnight, and I didn't know if I was going to make it back. So we do need somebody to fill in case at some point in time I wouldn't be able to be here, so we need a vice president. I'll be here every time that I can.
Well, I will be too, if somebody lets me know when we're supposed to be here.
That's right. We
I
want
can't remember.
You'd make a good vice president then.
Okay, is there a nomination for vice president?
I nominate Gary for vice president.
All right, we have a nomination of Gary. Is there a second? Chris seconds it. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, Gary, you have to remember to make it if I'm not here.
Okay. Somebody give me a call and I'll be here.
Okay,
Ed, you need to go to the bank to sign so that you can sign checks.
okay,
Because we need 3 people and it's Cole and me,
okay.
because it was Mike
Do
before.
you need to go with me, or?
I don't think
How's that
so,
work?
because I didn't have to have anybody with me when I did it for myself, when I did it as treasurer, but
I don't think Mike Bailey's on this, is he?
no, Mike's not on it anymore. Mike's on, but
Mike Headley's on it now.
yeah, but it was 4 of us.
Okay.
We just keep Mike, he's there in case of an emergency. Mike Headley, he's not happy about it, but that's where, but yeah, to take,
Okay, so
and you
I
don't have to do anything because we already had Mike Bailey off. We
okay.
took him off when
So I
Cole.
just need to go and talk to the,
Does he
Yeah,
have to have a
Christie-
copy of the notes from this meeting that appoint him as president?
that'd probably be a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't, because I didn't have anything when I went for treasurer.
We didn't have
I don't
anything-
remember, when I had to go by myself. Now, Cole and I both went because we switched everything and so we've already, but when I went in, just switched from Chuck to me, I was there by myself. But I don't know if anybody talked to them ahead of time either, so.
Okay, well, I'll wait until Martha gets some notes and I'll go to the bank and try to get that taken care of. Appointing Cole as director, is there any discussion of that?
No, sir. I haven't got anything to say.
Okay, we need a motion to appoint him as director, permanent director.
I make a motion that we put Clay in as the director.
Gary makes a motion, Chris seconds the motion. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, Cole, we do appreciate what you've done. We really do, Stephanie. I know you've worked long, hard hours.
Yes, sir.
And I think you're making some good headway with some of these things that you're looking to do,
Yeah.
so. Okay.
And just keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Okay, Chris.
We need to meet, the budget committee needs to meet either the first week in March or the third week in March. because I'm gonna be gone the second week in March.
Okay,
And we're gonna, Cole and Martha and I are gonna sit down and go over everything,
okay, that's good.
you know, and then that way we'll present it to you,
Right, that's good.
to you guys.
You might wanna do that earlier, because we have to deal with it in March, so you might wanna, last week of February.
Okay.
When's your next meeting?
It should be the last Tuesday of February.
Wouldn't you want to do it before the meeting?
Whatever the fourth Tuesday is.
Yeah, that would be my suggestion. You do it, present it to the board.
Hold your meeting on the third Tuesday or something, and then have our regular meeting on the fourth.
Be my suggestion.
Yeah, because we might have licensure here the last week of February too, because our licensure expires in March, so it's probably gonna be a busy week.
Sound like a busy month.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you know who's on the budget committee?
President, the vice president, the secretary, and the treasurer. I looked at the old minutes. I
Okay.
looked at our old minutes. And
So maybe we could come in like an hour before the next regular scheduled meeting and meet with you and Cole and Martha and go over that. So if we'd meet at 5 o'clock on that day and then 6 o'clock we meet the regular meeting. Okay.
It's
Fourth Tuesday
the fourth Tuesday
at 5 o'clock.
at 5 o'clock, okay.
we'll all call him.
Somebody had better give me a call.
Okay.
'Cause I'll tell you, right now, time don't mean a thing to me.
How about I just have Tony out?
Huh?
How about I just have Tony out?
Okay? Okay?
Is there
Respond that way.
any other new business? The only thing I can think of is that we had planned on anything above 20,000 in the checking account, that we would take that amount above 20,000 and apply that to the county commission. So, discussion on that?
I
Well,
think we ought to do it.
we've got $11,000 in outstanding checks right now. And we've got 27 in the checking account.
Oh, we got enough money at the end of the month at the cover of that 11,000.
I've got bills, when I went to the post office today, I picked up. I don't know whether, because I was there Thursday, and I don't know whether, I wasn't there yesterday, that's 3 days, but I didn't get the stuff in the mail that I usually get for the first of beginning of the month. So I don't know whether, probably stuff was held up because of the weather. But I got bills.
We also said that ASAP was held up.
And yeah, and the ASAP, and but I did talk to them today, and because I wanted to know why there was such a big difference in their deposits from December and January, and she explained to me that they do that because of like the internal revenue, you know, the end of the fiscal year, the insurance companies are behind. There is, yeah, they keep it, because I called her and I said, there's a big difference here, you know, and she told me how much money was available, or that's there. Of course, that's not what we'll get by the time the insurance cuts off and takes what they allow. So this month should be much better than this past month, than January. Can we do 3,000? Can we do 3,000?
That's up to the board.
I don't see how we could.
Okay, because we've got 27 in there.
That'll cut down to 23, or 24, right?
Yeah, but we've got 11,000 in though in outstanding.
Okay. If they'll stand still for that, I'd say, and give them $3,000. I'm looking at you two.
I'm gonna look at you two.
We'll take whatever you give us.
Okay.
There, you know, we've got rid of one cell phone totally, Okay, there's one cell phone, and then the AT&T bill has been cut in half.
Yeah.
What else have we done, Cole? Or have you done? Have you done?
Well, we had one cell phone. I'll just go ahead. We were paying for it for a year, but I don't know where it's at. So I got that bill cut out. We were paying $32.50 or something, $39.50 a month for that.
Wow.
A little bit more than that, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not. So I got that bill cut out, and then I went to AT&T and I discussed our company phone plan that we had, and we were paying around I want to say around $170 a month, if I recall.
187 actually.
134.66. AT&T.
So I got
You got
that
it
cut down to $70-some a month.
And tell us was 74.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, until it's 74, and we won't have that bill
Then we
anymore.
don't have that bill anymore.
Together.
But then the electric is up.
The electric's up. It's been really cold. So.
Now-
The guys that went through.
Doesn't this tank provide you with the heat that of the other?
When the garage was designed, though, the garage is electric.
What?
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah,
don't look at me, I wasn't here. We weren't here.
No,
that is electric heat in that garage.
Yeah.
Well,
The, as far as this, now I'm keeping my, of course, it'll help. They estimated the bills this month.
Yeah.
So here it's propane now, right? We have
As far
In
as
here,
I
right.
understand.
Yeah, it's propane. So therefore, they went by last year's, they went by last year's, they estimated. So it should be less because they have propane instead of electric. Last year, they were all electric. So the bill for here should be less, hopefully less, well, I don't know, with the stupid weather, the way the weather's going, it may not be, but they won't be any higher.
you got
Yeah.
two electric bills, one for here, one for the garage.
Mm-hmm.
The garage runs about what?
It's running, the last 2 months has been a little over 400.
And that's set at 58, 60 degrees. Because the drugs have to be kept at 60 degrees.
and you say the bill, if that garage is running about $400 a month.
That was one thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about sometime, like maybe in the spring, was we can look to maybe converting that to get those blowers that run off propane and natural gas, maybe.
Hopefully, knock on wood. You know him too, he's your neighbor, Butch.
You what?
I said, you know him too, he's your neighbor, Drake, Wesley Drake. He's looking into supplying us with propane heaters. So if we can get these propane heaters, we can put them out there and I'll save on a big cost.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because the heater out there just runs constantly.
Oh, yeah, has to.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Wow.
with the trucks, as soon as that garage door goes open,
Yeah.
it drops 10 degrees in there.
What about the air conditioning in the summer? How hot can it get in there with those drugs?
During the summer, it stays pretty cool in there. I mean, we don't run the air conditioner at all. Unless we were having a board meeting, it was the only time the air conditioner comes on, so.
Another thing I want to present to you guys, I have a lady that's wanting to donate some money because she wants to get back on her taxes. So I talked to her about buying a, what's that thing called? Like a four-wheeler, but it's not four-wheeler.
The utility vehicle. or-
Yeah, like if we'd have to go on a right-of-way or something like that to get a patient off, instead of having to worry the
Sure.
counties, the sheriff's department, we'd have our own. And she went and looked at a couple different ones, different places. She went to Parks, they had something down there she looked at. She looked at one at Leeson's, and she's looking at already Honda place. So she wants to get with Cole and take Cole out and let him pick one out, and it'll be donated to
Better get a trailer while you're at it.
the company.
And will your vehicles, do you have any vehicles that's able to pull it?
Yeah, the Trailblazers. in-
Trailblazer pools.
Well, can you put a trailer hitch on one of your units and pull?
The Trailblazer has a trailer hitch, yeah.
Okay.
You wouldn't want it on the back of a vehicle.
You can't put I don't think you can put a tow hitch on the back of an ambulance, can you?
You could, but you'd have to work around it every time you put
Yeah.
someone in the back of it.
I don't think it'd be a good idea.
So,
Wouldn't have
I
a
mean,
knees
it's up
left.
to everybody, if you're really, I mean, if you think it's a good idea, we'll go ahead and pursue it. I want to talk to you guys about that.
I personally don't think there's any need to ever turn down a gift.
No, no, I don't either. But it might come in handy sometime. And just like you said, if there's got somebody out on a right of way or something, or out at one of these wells where you can't get in, and that going, ambulance into, you might get that four-wheeler into it. So, I would say, take it. Go, look with her.
Bob, that okay with you? Chris?
I never look
A gift horse
a
and a
gift horse in the mouth.
No,
That's
Okay, well-
like, that's like volunteers.
That's
If
right.
you get one, you keep it.
that's right. That's right.
Okay.
My thought would be, what about the possibility of, since there is one in the county that can be used for emergencies, I mean, yes, wouldn't be as convenient. You suppose she would consider paving the parking lot?
Supposed to too.
Well, what about all this equipment that you want to use, that you're wanting to buy, to purchase for your training courses?
That's what I was thinking, the same thing. The EMS.
Yeah, out there would work.
Well, anything that's in that direction that she would want to do for us, I'd say give her
I'd
give her a
take
good fuzzy feeling about it and say, yes, ma'am,
Yes,
thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'll just let her talk with Cole and we'll present the ideas
Okay.
and let Cole go with it.
Yeah, whatever's needed the most.
If you can get this equipment donated by her, then get it.
Good idea.
But the training, actually, once we get everything set up with the training, that's gonna generate,
More, it's going to help the county out more
it's
because
gonna help the county out plus.
The training center will generate revenue also, and will be eligible for a lot of grant money from the state and FEMA.
Yes.
It's just the initial getting it set up is a big, long process.
And
And
you've
it's not
got-
easy.
That sounds like the direction that I'd want to take my volunteer money.
So,
Say yes.
and it's kind of expensive to set the whole thing up to get the whole training site because we have to get the books and we have to get the mannequins and we have to provide all this stuff. So I'm breaking it down into milestones over,
Okay.
6-7 months instead of just wanting to buy everything at once.
Okay.
okay, if you're looking at a four-wheeler, she's talking what, between 9 and 13,000,
Yeah,
Probably.
and
yeah.
you're talking about $15,000 once you get a. I mean, how far would that go with your training
I
stuff?
mean, just like for example, the first milestone I think is approximately going to run about maybe 2,000 to 3,000 for the airway heads, all the CPR mannequins, maybe a set of books. We've had a lot of books donated to us. I wrote the companies. We have a whole shelf full in there actually, but that's running 2,000 to 3,000 for the first milestone. So
But that would really
that would be
start you out
That would
good
help
for
us a
training.
lot.
yes.
Now, where is this four-wheeler at the county's got?
Sheriff's Department?
Yeah, I think it's housed at Smithburg Fire.
I don't know where
On
it's
a
at.
trailer, yeah, and it's on a trailer.
It's on a trailer at Smithburg
And
Fire.
they got it inside a trailer, ain't they?
They've got a box trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually utilized it last week.
Mm-hmm.
We went.
And see, the nice part about that is you have somebody else to drive the vehicle to pull it out there.
Well, they have probably got a truck down there,
They
that will
do.
pull a trailer, so you set them take the trailer, they take your truck and your trailer.
I think that was the reason it's housed there. Is it's really, like 35 can just pull out and hook up to it and just take off.
So
Okay,
I'd say she's gonna give us between $25,000 and $30,000.
okay. Then that'll set us up pretty good then for
That's
for
what
this
I'm
training
We're gonna
center.
pay too, right?
Get all
Get
the
the training center started in Blacktop too.
Yes, you could for that amount.
Yeah, Yeah, if you could.
Hey, I'd set up a nonprofit and put that money to good use.
Get in line, Tammy.
I thought I paid my house off, but she has to put it where it's nonprofit.
But like, for
Well, I can do
example,
that.
if the training center's set up and like you'd want CPR, all you'd have to do would be stop by. We'll teach it to you right there, and we can print your card out, and everything's done. We don't have to get approval for anything. We don't have to submit everything. We can just do it here.
Okay,
Sounds like a
that
good
sounds
idea.
good.
You want to do? You need to research on your EMT. We can just make the class and have you come down and do it for a couple weekends, and we can just submit the information. No one has to go anywhere to do it, and we can do it
For
here.
EMTs?
Yeah.
EMTs. Yeah. And the paramedic classes that they need
First
for
responders.
first responders
Everything
too.
be done
Everything
right
will
here.
be covered. The only thing we have the potential to teach at some point if we ever wanted to would be paramedic class.
Mhm.
But Fairmont States has the accreditation and they do all that, so we don't really want to house a paramedic class here. But
Well,
we
the
can.
other thing, at least in my way of thinking, is you get them down here, you teach them, you may be able to convince them to
Stay.
stay or volunteer or,
Cost share. Where they come in and use your facility with their trainer.
True.
sounds like it's got a lot of pluses to me.
It does. And I'll have the whole report for you guys at the next board meeting with everything
Okay.
broke down.
And then you talked to Jeff about, billing. He told you if we were to do our own billing.
Yes, it'd be more profitable in the long run to do our own billing, but the setup cost is like Jeff said, it was around 5,000 to 7,000, I think is what he said for his setup cost.
And
But
then you have to learn all of
the
the
coding,
coding. You have to have a
What
coder.
What are you
works
paying
hand
out
by-
now for this?
they get 8% of our total profit. And if you look at it per year, it actually turns out to be a nice chunk of change.
Oh, I figured.
I
So,
wanted to check in Charleston to see what they charge. The company in Charleston. That,
but it's something I'm going to look into more and do more research on.
Okay.
Charlie's looking into classes for me to take for the,
To send to Martha, like if Martha, we send Martha to
The
class,
coding.
it would be like $1,000 or something for her to get all the up-to-date coding and learn how to do it. So,
And the EMS is also kicking that idea around too, aren't they?
that's that they are.
Already started. They started yesterday.
Did they?
They're doing it or they're just checking into it?
They hired somebody to do it yesterday.
Oh, did they?
Well, wasn't that part of EMS's financial problem? Is the coding on the stuff that was being sent in whenever they were doing it themselves?
Well, I think that was part of our problem evidently from what I've heard, that past year or two, we've lost a lot of money because we didn't bill
Didn't code right.
Here.
correctly. Yeah,
Here.
here.
Yeah, a lot of the problem was stemming from documentation. We started I sit down for the last month and I put together a documentation program that they have to follow this set guidelines. So when their trip sheets are entered into the system, they have to follow and enter the information as on this.
yeah, it wasn't so much
Um,
coding,
class
as
that I gave.
documentation.
This documentation.
It wasn't coding, it was
So-
documentation.
Just weren't billing
Yes.
correctly, you know.
Sat down with the employees and we're working on getting this 100% implemented. So we've got some of the guys already started it.
Okay.
But they were billing, the billing company's billing right.
They're
It's
billing
just
right.
that they're billing right, it's just that the guys here weren't putting down the documentation that
Correctly.
they have to go by what
Like, for
they were
example, they didn't list all the drugs that they used.
Yeah,
Right, or
That's an
like
example.
we would do like, let's say
So we-
like they
we
do a
didn't get-
12 lead and wouldn't put it on the trip
different
sheet
one.
or
What's
put
a
it in there
12 what's a
correctly.
12 lead?
EKG monitor, take a look at the heart, or check a blood sugar, or that wasn't entered
Or
correctly.
even put oxygen
Yeah, because
on
the
it.
billing company could
Put
bill
it
for all
down and
that.
they bill for it.
We can bill for all that, but if it's not being entered, we're using it but not
All
billing
right,
for
so the
it.
building company's
And-
doing okay.
Right.
They
And
get
you're-
proper information.
Your run sheets go in now like immediately, don't they?
They've always went in immediately, but yeah, they
Well, no, I'm talking 10 years back where we filled them out by
Oh,
hand.
yes.
Okay, so the run sheets go in immediately And you don't have a chance to come back and sit down and look it over and,
No, there's a check and balance system now. When they enter the trip sheet and they hit send, it goes to me. I review the chart and then I push it to billing.
okay.
So everything has to go through me before it goes home.
Good.
That's great,
So
that's great.
I read every trip sheet that comes through. So.
Yeah, that should make some money.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, we're still back at, how much do we want to send? Chris, do you want to make a
It's
motion?
3.
Chris
You
makes a
said
motion of 3. Second?
I second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All
And we're
opposed?
hoping to improve on that. We're hoping to improve on that.
Okay. Any other new business, any business at all? Motion to adjourn,
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I second.
and all in favor? Aye,
Aye.
opposed? All right. Short and sweet.
Can I say
Yeah,
something
that's
about
good.
your billing? From November, your payments,
Yeah.
from November to about March.
Somebody let me know when I am,
I didn't want to say
it should be here and I'll be